Kusangpo and welcome to Bhutan This Week with me, Kasa Zong. Our top stories this week. His Majesty the King granted that to the newly elected National Council members on Saturday. His Majesty the King has granted rice as silver to 112 households in Mitso and Jerikyoks in Hunsi. And growing snail population worries people in Gelpushing, Mongar. His Majesty the King granted dar to the newly elected National Council members at the Golden Throne Room of Kasa Zong on Saturday. His Majesty the King has granted rice silver to 112 households in Mitso and Jerikyoks in Hunsi. The households had lost their crops to the recent heavy rain and hail.
More than 85 acres of maize fields in Ungar, Drukla, Gongdar, Tongsibi and Gulipang villages under Metsogyog were destroyed by hailstones on 11th May, and close to 25 acres of maize fields in Ladrong, Pam and Yumchi villages under Jarigyog were washed away by rain on 20th May. Maize is the main food crop in both the Gyeogs. His Majesty's Sera will see the farmers through to the next harvest. The office of the Gebe Zumpe also mobilized a team from the Dzongkhag to visit the affected villages and supply millet seeds and provide necessary assistance to farmers. Farmers have been trained to prevent such damage in the future through land management and the planting of napier hedgerows to prevent soil erosion. This was done with technical support from Dzongkhag agriculture officials. Long-term preventive measures like proper drainage systems were discussed and are to be given top priority in Gyeog plans.
Coinciding with Dichan Ngazom last Saturday, the Shung Drasang offered 213 volumes of Tenju to Wangdi Zong. These scriptures worth 150,000 Yultrum were handed over Saturday morning. The Drasang opened its Child Care and Protection Office in the capital on Sunday. Inaugurated and consecrated by His Holiness the Jikempo, the Child Care and Protection Office will play a vital role in addressing issues related to the rights of the monks and nuns aged below 18 years. This means the office will examine if monastic institutions are giving quality education, healthy food, and clean living accommodations for the monks and nuns. Apart from this, the Drasang's Child Care and Protection House will also provide shelter to the monks and nuns who have discontinued their education in monastic institutions. The office will also give legal protection to the monks and nuns who have been deprived of their rights. The office will be manned by a committee comprising of 11 experts and few other staff. The office is located opposite to the Supreme Court construction site. The fund for the construction of the office was provided by the National Commission for Women and Children. The equipment for the office was provided by UNICEF. Pamalhadan, BBS News. Army worms have been destroying crops in various Dzongkhags in the country. In Gelpushing is the snails. Besides damaging vegetable and crops, the snails have become a threat to human health.
According to the residents of Gelpushing, these snails were first spotted in the locality in 2006. It is commonly known as giant African land snail. Initially, the locals thought that the snails were harmless. However, after 2008, the number of these snails increased drastically. All the locals could do was collect them and dump them in the nearest pit. According to the residents, these snails are now spreading towards other nearby places like Lingmithang and Tinangbi.
As far as I know, the problem began since 2008, but few have seen snails earlier as well. Now the number has increased so much that if we collect them, it might be over 10 truckloads of snails from here alone.
According to the town representative Gembo, the number of the snails can go up to over 10 truckloads. Meanwhile, the Department of Agriculture requests the general public to avoid taking the snails to other places as the snails can adapt to a wide range of climatic conditions.
I think what the public need to understand is it has really come to our notice that because the snail has both this clockwise and anti-clockwise pattern, and in our religion, I think certain pattern is considered to be quite religiously significant. But what farmers need to realize is that it's not advisable to actually collect the snail or its shell from Gelposhing area and take it to other areas. Right now it's very localized in Gelposhing areas, but if people actually continue to do that sort of activities and take it into other areas, then similar problem may actually crop up. And what is also important to know, especially the farming community.
He added, besides impact on the environment, the snails can also threaten human health if not controlled. In the meantime, the only option is to manually collect and destroy them until their population is manageable. Alongside physical removal, the Department of Agriculture will also focus on strengthening surveillance and also organize national-level workshop to sensitize on the issue. Meanwhile, the Dzongkhag administration had also tried to export the snails to other countries, but the snails from the Gelpushing were proved not edible. With additional information from Kingatashi Pemasuki for BBS News.
Druk Green Power Corporation Limited proposes to trade the 118 megawatt Nikachu hydroelectric project shares in local stock market in October this year. The move, according to the company, is being initiated to raise money to invest in future power projects independent from external borrowings.
Druk Green Power Corporation Limited initial step to get into stock market comes after the company repeatedly maintained it does not have enough money to invest in new hydropower projects. The company, which is the richest in terms of assets, estimated at 70 billion ngiltrum, is also the poorest in terms of reserve after contributing about 26% of the government's total revenues in the form of taxes and dividends.
One of our major mandates is to ensure that we also construct new projects for which we need a lot of money. And the government of Bhutan has very clearly told us that it's not possible for them to reduce the amount of dividend that they're asking to provide from us to them. So basically that means that we are left with very little money. So the other options that we are exploring, because we are looking at projects beyond India.
The managing director said the option to meet overall financing requirements to investing in the hydropower sector was to start trading some of the shares from medium-scale projects like Nikachu, which is scheduled to complete by 2017 in Trongsa. He said if things go well, they expect to start trading from this year.
If we can reach closure for the project, we can arrange the loans, we can arrange the equity partners, we can arrange the PPA power purchase agreement, and we can complete the studies that are going on just now. So we have got a lot. The DPR is still under finalization. The design engineering is going on. So all of this has to close for the Nikachu project. So if all closures can be reached by September, by October, we should be able to go to the Royal Securities Exchange.
After a stint in domestic trading, the Druk Green Power Corporation Limited as a company is also looking at getting into international stock market such as Bombay Stock Exchange and in Singapore over the years. Meanwhile, the company is worried if there would be enough takers for local projects considering the current liquidity situation in the domestic market. Sonam Phunso for BBS News.
The renovation of Kasa Zong has finally been completed 6 years after the Zong was damaged by a fire. Restored to its old glory, this is how Kasa Zong looks now. The 17th century Zong now has a serto. A fire in 2008 damaged the Kagil Hagang and the administrative block. The Zong also lost its statues.
The administrative block is now outside the Zong. The previous administrative block, which used to be housed inside the Zong, has now been turned into Mithuplahang.
The renovation works began in 2010. Songda Sonam Jigme said several challenges prolonged the renovation works.
Due to labor shortage, the renovation works took more time. Getting laborers from here was difficult as population here is very less, and bringing in laborers from outside was also not possible.
A total of 15 million yultrum was allocated for the renovation works. Of that, 14 million has been spent so far. The exterior works and interior paintings have been completed. What remains now is the installation of statues, which is expected to be done in another 1 to 2 months. Kasa Zong for BBS News. Truckers and medium vehicle drivers in Phuntsholings are not happy with the recent hike in parking fee of the truck parking area designated by the Thomde. The fee has increased by over 5-fold.
The new parking fee came into effect from last Saturday. From 15 nultrum for 24 hours, it increased to 265 nultrum for 24 hours now. Drivers using the parking space said the new rate decided by the Thomde office is not reasonable.
For those transport companies and contractors, they have their own area for parking. But for those who park here are all from low income and cannot afford private parking spaces. Moreover, Thomde office did not even discuss with the drivers before fixing the rate.
We park here when we don't get any load to transport. And for the increase in fee, we are still not able to understand how it was decided and why.
Another driver added that the increase has come at a time when the business is dwindling.
We bought the trucks on loan and there is not much work because of increasing number of trucks. As a result, we have to compromise on the transportation charges despite increasing diesel price. Moreover, for most mega construction projects, they use Indian trucks. And even if we get work after deducting every expenses, we are left with just about 2,000 nultrum.
484. As a solidarity move against the hike, the truckers have also drafted and signed a petition to the Thomde office asking for consideration. The letter was put up to the office yesterday. However, the Thomde rejected the application, saying that the rate was fixed through tendering of the parking fee collection contract and then passed by the Thomde Tsogde. Kampal for Sonamongdi, Tanden Finso BBS News.
With the 10th five-year plan coming to an end by next month, people are now questioning the local government in Tashkang about developmental activities that have not even started. The people of Tongling village under Radhikeok in Tashigang are blaming their local leaders for the failure to construct a potato shed and a farm road in the village. The 10th five-year plan comes to an end next month. Therefore, the people are worried that they may not get the facilities as planned. The Tongling Sokpa is quite doubtful about the shed being built.
Gyok officials are saying there's still 1 month left and they are going to construct the potato shed within a week or 2 to 3 days. I just wonder why the budget has been handed over to the Gyok Ranger when the budget is for the agriculture sector. We don't know if they are trying to hide the budget or if we will even benefit from the approved budget.
Local leaders, on the other hand, have accused the people for failing to identify a land to construct potato shed in the village.
We are as worried as the people. If they can identify a land and inform us in writing today, we are ready to begin construction from tomorrow itself. We have not been able to give the supply order mainly because there is no proper land to construct the potato shed. It is not that we are not going to construct the shed, people need not worry.
Gyok authorities have also said the farm road that has not been made is not even included in the current plan. They, however, did say the farm road would be a top priority in the 11th five-year plan. Compiled for Pemanamge, Taralimbo for BBS News. Japan has donated a large tracked excavator to Thimphu Thomde. The excavator was handed over last Friday at the Mimilaka landfill in Thimphu. The excavator is to be used at the Memelaka landfill. The donation was made by the Embassy of Japan in New Delhi, India, in collaboration with the Foreign Ministry of Japan under the Grant Assistance for Grassroots project. Thimpu Trompen said the excavator will help immensely helping in managing Memelaka landfill site properly.
On a daily basis, whatever garbages collect here has to be leveled, and after a certain height, we have to even cover it with soil and compact it so that we properly maintain and we don't see Memelaka like in the past, where all the plastics and things are blown off and is scattered, and it has even come down to the road, and so it was not properly managed in the past. And with this excavator now, we hope that we can maintain this well all the time, and this will definitely help us in better management of the landfill.
Taniguchi Hideki is the second secretary, Agriculture and Bhutanese Affairs at the Japanese Embassy in New Delhi.
Expect Thimphu City that they will improve their waste management capacity, and our support will strengthen the friendship between Bhutan and Japan.
The excavator, which cost over 400,000 Yultrum, will be stationed at the Memelaka landfill site. Compiled for Pemaishe, Kasa Zong for BBS News. The two-day 6th Regional Steering Committee meeting for the Hindu Kush Himalayas concluded yesterday with a decision to work on the next phase of the Flood Information System project. The current project, which ends in 2014, helps the region in exchanging hydrological information and preventing and minimizing flood-related impact.
The Hindu Kush Himalayan region is notorious for floods that continue to affect millions of lives and livelihoods. In the last 30 years, close to 1 billion people were affected by floods in South Asia, with damage to properties and infrastructure estimated to be over $40 billion. Recognizing the floods cannot be totally controlled, in 2009, a project on flood information system began. The HKH Hydrological Cycle Observing System with ISIMOT in Nepal and its national partners share flood information with each other.
If we have a good flood information system, regional flood, it will also address the issues of disaster and some of the preventions and preventive measures that could be taken by using such regional flood information. I think these are benefits, and benefits are going to come to the institutions as we are developing, research institutions, government institutions, directly policymakers also. With this, they will be able to make many decisions as informed decisions, because they will have data and information.
The High Coast project, which completes in 2014, runs on a budget of €2 million provided by the government of Finland to help improve the flood information system. The project coordinator with High Coast Initiative and also senior water resources specialist said such a project in the region ultimately lessens the impacts of floods.
All these recurring floods in the region, particularly also now because of climate change issues, the intensity and the magnitude of the floods are going to be increasing, and we see that it is increasing. Therefore, there is a need for the concerted efforts on the part of the region to look into how to minimize the impacts of floods.
Bhutan, which is also one of the implementing partners through the project, has benefited in establishing 6 of the automatic hydromet stations that generate real-time data. This, over the years, is expected to have multi-pronged benefits.
We want to make better use of those information, and then also be able to talk with our stakeholders, whether it is a hydropower company who is actually operating a dam, or whether it is our agricultural people who are having the fields by the river, or other infrastructure and socio-economic sectors, whereby we would be able to share this information and collaborate so that the flood information is shared.
As per the record maintained with the Department of Hydromet Services, of the 8 major flood events in Bhutan, the figure showed 40 lives were lost and over billions of ngiltrum in damage to infrastructure and properties. Sonam Phunso for BBS News.
That's all we have for you this week. Do join us next Saturday, same time, same channel. Thank you for watching.